What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? 2XR here, back with another video about the Fuji X-S10. So it's been a little over 2 months. This video, I'm gonna be talking about how do I feel about this camera 2 months later. Now, if you guys watch my other videos or the first video, you guys probably noticed that I spoke a lot about the M50. The M50 is the camera that I came from. So in this video, I'm gonna be comparing it to that camera because that's the camera that got me started on YouTube. So that's the one I'm gonna be talking a lot about. Between that one and this one, how do they compare? Is it a good comparison? Is it apples and oranges? Do they even compare? So in this video, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about how am I feeling about the XS10 so far, 2 months later? Do I regret switching from the M50? What do I like about the XS10? What don't I like? And would I recommend it to any one of you guys watching this video? Let's get into it. First off, I have to say I'm very pleased with this camera. It takes great photos and amazing video. The quality is what you're watching right now. This is in 4K, 24 frames per second. What do you guys think? How does it look? How do I look? New setup, if anybody noticed. If you guys been with me from the beginning where I was doing other videos. What do you guys think about the new setup? This camera is awesome. It's small, it's lightweight. It's not as light as the M50 was, but it's small enough where I can use it for a while and not even notice and not even get fatigue from holding it. The grip is way better than the M50 was. I do have big hands, but I have no problem with the grip. I know a lot of people complain about the grip. I have no issues with the grip. The grip is pretty good. Next up, do I regret switching from the M50 to the Fuji X-S10? The answer is a definite no. I do not regret switching at all. This camera is more than capable of doing everything that I needed to do and more. Stuff that I can't even see myself using in the near future. Maybe in the future, but not in the near future. I can't see myself using some of these features, but these features are there. They're built into the camera. For this price range, if I went with Canon, I'd be crippling myself. I couldn't use 4K. If I went with like the RP, the Canon RP, I wouldn't be able to use true 4K. I wouldn't be able to shoot 10-bit 4K. So this camera has that over even the Canon RP, which is higher than the Canon M50. There's no added crop in 4K. I love the simulations that this camera has in it. There are so many simulations. What a simulation is the color. So, and how it processes the image. So normally a color is just, a camera just shoots in standard. So it'll have standard colors. This one right now I'm shooting in Eterna, the 4K. Now a lot of people are probably saying, well, it doesn't shoot H.265 or whatever. I don't have a computer. My computer right here was not going to be able to handle crazy high files anyway. So I don't have a problem with that. I'm shooting at 2200 megabits per second in 4K to get the most detail that I can get. I love the possibility of the lenses. Right now, the majority of the lenses are first party. I'm shooting with the 16mm f2.8. I also have the kit lens sitting up there, the 18-55, and I have the 35 f2. They have some really good lenses though. And there's some future lenses coming down the pipe. The Sigma 16mm f1.4, which is what I used to shoot on my M50. I love that lens. Supposedly it's coming to the X mount. So I cannot wait for that lens to come to this camera. There's also a bunch of Viltrox lenses that I've seen a lot of videos on that are great lenses. They're third-party lenses, but they take really good pictures. They're steady working and more on the autofocus. The autofocus is not bad from what I hear, and I heard it's not loud. Right now, I don't even hear this, so I'm hoping this is not coming across the video. I don't hear it autofocusing. I don't see it going hunting. So far so good on the 16mm f2.8 at f2.8. I'm actually shooting this video at f2.8. Also, what I love about this camera is right now, I can look and I can see my audio levels. I can see the simulation that I'm shooting on. I can see my white balance. I can see all of the settings that I need to see on this camera just by looking at the little screen, the flip out screen. Another reason I got this camera, you can shoot 4K 10-bit video using an external monitor, which is awesome. The M50 cannot do that. This thing has a lot of features that the M50 didn't even come close to having. And the RP, I think even the RP couldn't do that. So I'm not sure, but I think it couldn't do that either. So this camera is awesome. Love this camera. Another thing I love about it is the mic jack placement. The mic jack placement is awesome. It's right above the screen, so I can flip out the screen. It's not going to interfere with it. The M50 used to bump it. So with this, I don't have to worry about it. There is also a USB-C for charging, which a lot of my stuff is USB-C now because I've upgraded my phones and my tablets. So a lot of my stuff is the USB-C, so I can use a charger, one of those chargers, to charge this. You can also use that USB-C to monitor your audio. So say you're shooting a video and you're outside, you want to be able to make sure that the audio is good coming into the camera, coming into your recording. So you can monitor that right on the camera using the little dongle that it came with. Now, my dislikes. The autofocus is okay. It's not perfect, and it's not on the level that I thought the M50 was. The M50 had a crazy good autofocus in 1080p, only in 1080p. Maybe in 720. I never really used 720 on that camera, but in 1080p, the autofocus was quick. It locked onto you, locked onto your face with no issues. Right now, it looks like I'm in focus, but I've seen a couple times where it looks like I'm in focus or my picture was in focus in the viewfinder and on the LCD. And when I go to check my pictures or my video, it's out of focus. So the autofocus could use a little bit of work, but it's still pretty good. Right now, I think it's, like I said, it looks like I'm in focus. Hopefully I'm in focus. I've seen videos where some people are talking about this camera and they're using the camera and you can see when it loses them. But hopefully I have it lit well enough that I don't lose, you don't lose my autofocus on my face. And it doesn't, like my Canon M50 was not perfect. I had a statue, like I have a statue in the back right now of Goku. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have a statue in the back, and I had a Funko Goku, and it would zoom, it would focus in on his face instead of my face. So the M50 wasn't perfect, but it was a little bit quicker than this. And a little bit more reliable than this. It's good. Like when it's focused, the pictures, the video, amazing. Really great coming out of this camera. And that's really my only gripe. My only gripe is really the autofocus. But it depends on the lens too, because I've seen where the 18 to 55 worked perfectly well at 18mm f2.8, which is a f2.8. The lowest is an f2.8. So I've seen it where that had no issue grabbing focus and had no issue locking focus. This 16mm, I've seen it hunt a couple times. I've seen it hunt. It might be hunting in the background right now, I'm not sure, but I've seen it hunt in the background. So it's okay, but it's based on the actual lens, not only on the body, but the lens and the body have to work together. Another thing that I forgot to mention that I love is the IBIS. Which IBIS is stabilization. Like your phone has that little hand symbol. This has that built into the actual sensor. So it's not digital, it's actually optical. So it moves with you. The battery could be a little bit bigger. It could last a little bit longer, but I haven't really had an issue where I was shooting from beginning to end and it died in the middle. I've had it where I didn't charge it and it died, but what camera wouldn't die after using it and then trying to use it again days later? That's normal. I take that to that. And my M50, the battery was horrible on it. It didn't last very long at all. I had to get a dummy battery and a power supply, and that's what I would use to shoot my videos. So I'm not using that right now. I'm just using the battery power. I could just plug it into USB-C, like I said before. I could plug it into USB-C and it'll charge and record at the same time, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, the huge question, the big question that most of you people probably clicked on this video for: would I recommend the Fuji X-S10? The answer is a definite yes. This camera is highly capable, is very powerful. I've shot some crazy photos in low light that I couldn't even think of on the M50. The dynamic range is amazing. The 4K is great, even though it only shoots up to 30. I don't use 30, I use 24. You don't have 60, which would be great for slow-mo, but it has 1080p 240, which is 10 times slow-mo using a 24 frames per second timeline. which is what I usually use. That's all I really need. Also, if you needed to shoot something professional, that you needed more data, you needed that higher dynamic range, you can just connect an external monitor. You can shoot it in F-Log because it has log profile on this, which I don't even think the RP does, or the Canon M50. It shoots log, so you have a lot of room to grade. It shoots in 10-bit 4K. It's amazing. For the price, I don't even think the A7C could do it. I don't even think the A7 III could do it. So those cameras cost more. The lenses cost more, because you can get crazy expensive with some full frame lenses. I'm sure there's probably budget lenses out there for full frame, but you can get crazy expensive with full frame. So I would definitely recommend this camera. So there you have it. 2 months later, I love this camera. Great pictures, great video, audio levels on the screen. I mean, it checks every box that I needed to check. And if you're looking between this or the Canon M50, I would save up some money, get this, because I feel like the longevity is there as far as the lenses, as far as the support. Fuji definitely supports their cameras, even older cameras in firmware. Canon did not do that to the M50. They just came out with a Mark II instead of just creating a firmware. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth with the M50. That's why I got this camera. So again, it's definitely worth it. Definitely check it out. I love this camera. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for watching. This has been 2XR. Peace out.